Hi, everybody. This is Marilyn. Do we have audio for this? Thank you. Hello, everybody. This is Marilyn, and it's time for the noon edition of Welcome to My World. This is the 19th of October, and it is a Wednesday, crude oil inventory day. So, how's everybody doing this morning? It looks like there have been some trades. This isn't one of the easiest days we've had recently, but there were definitely some trades. The indices have it looks like the laggard today has been the NQ, and the other three are pretty much in lockstep. I think maybe the YM would have been a little bit easier to trade today, and the TF definitely. But we have the VIX has backed off a little bit, which isn't huge, but it's trading 1440 right now. And remember, first part of the week, I think it was Monday, early Monday morning, it was over 17. So it's come off of that a little bit. We are in the right in the middle of earnings season, and there are a lot of these big companies that are announcing their earnings, and there were some today before the market. So let me see, after the market closes today, I don't see anything that's going to be huge, but tomorrow morning, let's see here. Tomorrow morning, I know there's a big one. Yeah, Verizon. Verizon tomorrow morning before the market opens. So that's something to pay attention to. And so the Canadian dollar was a really good market to trade today because it went up on the bank news. The Bank of Canada is going to hold their rates at 0.5%, so there was no change there. And then something changed its mind. It got very unhappy and went right back down the other way. So there were trades both directions on that. Real easy to see also. And the Aussie dollar, I have started watching the Aussie dollar in the morning to try and get a little more familiar with it because it has really been moving. I don't know how many of you trade that in the morning or trade the Aussie dollar pair. But Canadian dollar this morning was definitely a mover. We've got gold coming up off of, it kind of acted like a bottoming business for, I don't know, about better part of a week, a little more. And now it seems to be trying to get itself afloat again because it got down to about 1250-ish, a little below, and hovered in there, just chopped around. So crude oil is definitely on a mission. This morning, that the forecast was, I don't know, about 2 point something or other, and then the API seemed to think they were going to come in with a bigger than normal drawdown, or bigger than expected, of around 3.8, and it came in at 5 something. So that kind of stuff will send the crude oil market up. It's got a big big number up here, right here, about 53.15, 53.20. And I don't know if it's going to get that far today or even this week. but it has been steadily grinding up, and Brent cleared a big number at about 53-ish, maybe hair below or so. And bonds this morning. Bonds were not as easy as they have been to trade, but they did put in a couple of significant trades. You could have gotten 10 ticks going both directions on that, but boy, this is where that patience, and you have to be very respectful of bonds when, or any other market really, when they get around settlement. Settlement causes lots and lots of what I refer to as the hovering mode. They just kind of get in there, and the bus driver puts the bus in idle for a while. So always, that's why it's so important to know where you are relative to settlement every day. And let's see, we've got a couple of questions in here. The question is being asked about how to trade earnings and stuff. Earnings is the trades that Apex recommends are on the news tab of the Apex website, and there are some really nice, especially if you like to trade the currencies. There are great trade posted in there. Tells you exactly what the strategy is, what time to put them on, what expiry to look for, and if you're not familiar with that strategy, it's all right there. That's a very useful tab. For Franz, if you're talking about, does anybody in here trade earnings with straight up stock options? No, we haven't done any of that. That's a whole other animal. I know that so there are traders who do that, but this isn't one of the focuses, and Daryl does too. I mean, I can tell you that. There's no, we're not limited with anything in here. There's always, this works on literally any stock, any futures market, any Nadex market, any. That's why we spend so much time learning how to read the market, because then you can apply it to, I mean, anything. You're off and running to use it for anything. We've had some discussion in here this morning about the Nadex and the bid-ask spread, and you know why you get in every trade you get into, you're underwater initially and stuff. When you have, if you're going to use the Nadex, you have to understand what it is. There was some discussion about the indicative price and the market price. Keep in mind what Nadex is. That is the North American Derivatives Exchange. You are not trading a market, you are trading a derivative of the underlying market. So that's where that indicative pricing comes in. If you don't want to pay the bid-ask spread, you need to ask yourself, why are you doing this in the first place? Number one, trading is a business. If you're going to be a trader, you're operating a business. This isn't a video game. This isn't playing around. We're not all sitting here trying to see if we can do this and figure out how to do it. No. This is a business. And if you're going to operate a profitable business, you need a business plan, and you need to understand what your overhead is. And the beginning of every month, every business has a nut, and that nut is their overhead. You first got to pay the bills before you can make any money. So if you sit down and think about this, what is the overhead for each of us operating a trading business? It's our membership in Apex, which keeps these programmers programming this wonderful stuff for us. That has to be paid. Your internet connection has to be paid. That's part of your business expense. Your certain amount of your electricity bill has to be paid. That's part of your business expense. And with the individual trades, you are going to have a business expense. It's either going to be a bid-ask spread on whatever you're trading, the Nadex or the Forex pairs or whatever it is, or it's going to be the commission and fees to futures or options or stockbroker. That's just a fact. That's a fact of being in business. So it's a little bit different mindset, I think, than a lot of things. And we've also had some people in here, then it's very encouraging to all of us. They're making some great trades and posting them. Everybody learns from those, and nobody learns more than the person who posts the chart. So if you want to learn more, that's the place to do it. The other thing I wanted to point out is marking those charts. If you just, here's my chart, what did I do wrong? That doesn't help anybody. You need to mark those very clearly, where your entry was and why did you take that entry. You have to get real clear with yourself what you're doing here. This isn't push the button and play the video game. This is a very precise, this is where all this peeing comes in. We all talk about all the peeing we do. Be sure and pee. Well, you've got to plan your trades. You have to get picky about those entries because there's no other way you're going to get to profitability that I know of. Hoping and wishing it's not going to get you there. So anyway, tomorrow morning, don't forget, if you trade YM tomorrow, I would definitely look at what the Verizon earnings are going to come out and how that particular number is going to affect the YM, because it may. Then tomorrow morning for the early bird crowd at around 4:30, there starts to be some news from Europe. And at 8:30, we have building permits and U.S. housing starts. Oh, no, that was today. Wait, I'm on the wrong page. I was thinking, no, we had that today. Tomorrow morning, yes, 4 o'clock, actually 2 a.m. if you happen to be up then. Lots of things from Europe. And then at 8:30, the European Bank is going to have a press conference, and that might move the euro tomorrow morning at 8:30. And then U.S., the Philly Fed, and my personal favorite, the claimed unemployment, will be out at 8:30. At 10 o'clock is existing home sales. And for those of you who trade on Nadex, the nat gas inventory report will be out tomorrow at 10:30. Okay, so anyway, let's see. I think that's about it. There will be some earnings that come out after market today. So if you have an interest in that and you want to trade the indices between 4 and 4:15, or you're in a trade, if you're in a trade on one of the indices at 4 o'clock, I would be real careful about tightening up your stops and and protecting yourself, because it could turn against you in a heartbeat depending on what comes out. Okay,